Hello and welcome to my vlog, Ichabod's Day. I'm Angela, or should I say Madame Angela. I have my witch's cap on, so I'm all ready to be Madame Angela. Madame Angela was an incarnation many years ago that was part of raising money for various charitable causes, a tongue-in-cheek idea of fortune teller. During those days I was much more able to be a kind of Romany gypsy type. I think having aged, having the long grey hair now, I think I'm more the old crone or the old hag perhaps. But a lot of people have wanted me to do this video. I think I've been teasing people on social media for a while about what is in the boxes, and this video will go through what's in the boxes. One of the things that I wanted to say is that I'm not a witch, quite clearly, and I certainly don't see myself as a witch. However, I do curate interesting artifacts and items that belong to folklore, that belong to witchcraft, or what you might think of witchcraft. I have lots of spell books. I've never cast a spell in my life. I have lots of crystals and I have lots of different cards. I'm going to show you some of those through the video. My dad actually got me interested in the supernatural, shall we say, many years ago, and it's something that stayed with me. And I think if I was to think of myself in any kind of witchy capacity, it would be as an amateur hedge witch or green witch. So someone who shares bounty, someone who's learning how to interact with nature. I am someone who is very observant. I am an empath, and therefore I am able to connect to people in maybe different ways that other people aren't able to. And by using some of the tools that I have, I am able to help people think about problem solving, think about moving forwards with any issues that they might have. It's something that I only do if asked, and it's not something that I do on a regular basis. But I hope you enjoy this video. I enjoyed dressing up. I quite enjoyed this. Might have to do this more often, and I'll see you at the other end. Let me introduce you to the old crone, who was honoured during Samhain as a pagan goddess. She stood for wisdom and change of the turning seasons, and it's often said that a woman only comes into her full powers when her hair turns white, so maybe watch out. It's only relatively recently that the crone has morphed into this sort of cackling, menacing witch that we hear of today. Let me introduce you to Old Meg as well. Old Meg is a witch that's been with me since the 90s, who sits in my front window. The idea is that the witch flies up outside, sees there's a witch already living here, and leaves us alone. People can also use witches' balls as well, which are glass baubles hanging in the window. We've got one upstairs. And the idea with that is that the witch flies up, sees that her own reflection, thinks there is another witch living there, and again leaves the house alone. And it's a kind of folklore, it's tradition, and for me it just feels nice to engage with. One of the things of Samhain and later Halloween was to confuse the evil spirits. So people did a lot of different things. One of them was carving pumpkins to detract the evil spirits. The other was dressing up in various costumes. Obviously I've just put some pictures of my mum and dad in panto here that depict that, but the idea was that you fooled the evil spirits. They couldn't find you, and they also thought that evil spirits were already wandering near you, and therefore they didn't affect you. One of the things that have been contentious over the years is the notion of trick or treat. Here in the UK, we believed that it was a USA import and that it was something that we didn't do. That's wrong. In fact, the trick or treating idea was right back from the 9th century. It wasn't called trick or treating. It would be known as mumming or souling. And this was where people went around dressed in costumes, would go door to door, and they would do tricks, card tricks. They would sing or tell stories for a treat to appease the evil spirits. It was only in the 1920s that the coin trick or treat was coined in the USA, which is possibly why people think it came from there. But here in the UK, we've had similar since the 9th century. So here we are. I promised to show you what I have in the boxes. So I'm not going to show you everything, but the top box here holds some of my crystals. This one is amethyst, and this is really good for electromagnetic pollution. So often I have that with my computer. In this box here I have my pendulum crystals, dowsing crystals, some people call them. This one is aventurine and is again very good for electromagnetic pollution. This one I can't remember what stone it is. As some of my stones I have because I like them rather than because I use them. In this special little box here I have the angelite pendulum, which was a gift from a friend, and that's really beautiful. I love its colour, and it is about peaceful energy. And this is my tiger's eye. I have an affinity, it seems, with tiger's eye. I love it in any form, and this is the one that is really clear for me in terms of mental clarity, and also is helping with important life-changing decisions. This box is my Reiki affirmation box. I'm not going to show you inside there because I feel that's quite private. Beautiful box, but not going to show you inside. These are the Weaver's Oracle. Beautiful set of cards. I bought these from Inanna's Festival in Norwich a good few years ago now, and I will admit that I haven't used them as much as I perhaps could do. The whole premise is created by an artist called Carolyn Hillier. She developed both the stories and the cards. These are based on mythical legend. They're all about women who travel, women who hold stories, women of folklore, and a lot of them, she says, came to her as she was creating, and each one has their own weave and weft, each one has their own story, their own cloth, and the idea is that you use it as an oracle to travel through the book, if you like, travel through the cards to help you and inspire you to seek answers to truth and to seek awareness for the future. As I say, it's something that I thought was beautiful, but I haven't used it as such. Maybe that's something I can get to in the future. So this is my box of crystals. I'm not a great user of crystals. I can't say that I believe particularly. I wish I did, but I find crystals beautiful and I find them fascinating, and I like the connection with Mother Earth, if you like. I like the connection of minerals. This pack of cards here actually represents many of the crystal and minerals. Each card is either a crystal or a mineral, and it shows its properties, and it shows its healing properties as well, and what it's good for. And I just like the notion of those, so that's why I have these. And again, it can be quite useful. I have made candles before and used some of these stones in the candles as sort of healing properties. But as I say, not sure that I'm a fully signed up member of crystal use, but I would like it to be true. But I think just the utilizing of natural elements, I think, is something that I'm particularly keen on. And then finally for crystals is my drawer of crystal stones. Again, lots of cards and that for telling me what they're for. There's no way I can remember or even can identify all of them. I just love the colours. I love the feel of the crystals, and I just like to know that they're there. So moving into the cupboard itself now, what I first want to show you is that I do have a Ouija board. I have never used this and I intend never to use it, certainly in this house, um, but it goes with the collection. What I want to show you here are the angel cards that I have, very similar to the crystal cards, divination. Each card represents a different angel that spells out their different properties, the different things they help with, and the idea is that you can use them for meditation or to help focus on answers to specific questions as you would with any oracle. The cards themselves, I like the illustrations, and again it's something that forms part of the collection. What we move on to now are what I think are my favourite deck, which are my Psy cards. My dad bought me these when I was about 17 or 18 years old. They're not tarot, and I think that's important to say, is that they're not meant for fortune telling in terms of tarot. They are more gentle than tarot as I find them. The art is based on Anglo-Saxon art and culture, and the stories behind each card are informed by Jungian psychology. And I think that there's a whole different story behind each card. That the idea is that they are allowing people to become more aware, to look at opportunities, to explore mistakes made, and to look at patterns and habits to create a lifestyle that is more wanted. And those are my favourite deck that I use a lot if people ask me to. So now we move into the tarot decks that I have. I'm not going to open these. I think it's important that they are not shown
in their entirety. I have a strange relationship with tarot. I love some of the artistry, I love the idea behind them, but I very rarely use them. But I do like to collect different decks, mainly for the artistry. I did have an Aleister Crowley deck, which I had to give away because it really did give off negative vibes in terms of things that were happening in the house that I didn't like whilst I owned it, and therefore I gave it away to someone who would cherish it more than I did. So I do have a number of tarot decks. One or two of these aren't mine, they are Steve's, which he never uses, but I wanted to show you that I do have them. And then here we go into just some more divination type, meditation type cards. Again, really just part of the collection because I thought they were cute or I liked them. You may have seen in various photographs around that I have a big hand with all the palm lines on. If I think I will try and insert a photograph here, if I can edit to that extent. But I have palm reading stuff, I have tea leaf reading stuff, and it's not something that I live my life by. It's not always something that I subscribe to, but again, by curating a collection of different fortune telling or divination type things, I think it's important to showcase the whole range of what's available. And these have been collected over the years. Some have been gifts, some I've found and actually just kind of liked. More angel cards here, very different to the previous pack that I showed you. I'm not sure that I'm very keen on these. Can't even remember what they are supposed to do, but I think they are more meditative. Is that the word? Meditative? Rather than divination cards. But again, I think the illustration, the artwork is always very good.